Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to another session of Kitsch Witch Tarot, where we're kitschy and we're witchy. Thank you, Kitsch Witchers, for joining us today. Today I want to showcase my latest new kitschy deck, the Banned Books Tarot deck. It's pretty cool. Just got it yesterday. I love it when they have the magnet closures. I have several decks like that. Just magnet closures, simple and easy. Anything. Okay. And since these all deal with books that have been banned, this is one of the rare times when I actually will refer to their little guidebook, because it tells about the book that was been banned and why it was banned. The only thing I don't like about these cards is that they're too big to hold in my small hands and shuffle the traditional way. They're larger, they're plastic. The traditional Rider-Waite and those originally 20 years ago, most of them were plastic, but a lot of them now have gotten to cardboard paper, which I like a lot better. It shuffles better. I like them better. But these probably last longer, and they're, waterproof. So here you go. Anyway, I can't shuffle them the traditional way, but I want to shuffle them. Last night I got them all mixed up, so they weren't in order any longer. And I want to shuffle them vertically, because then they will pop out. If you shuffle them vertically, they will pop out. And I prefer it when they do pop out, although I know how to do it the other way too. That's how I learned. Okay. First, our froggy self-care, little frogs guide to self-care. My progress is not diminished by my setbacks. Your progress is not diminished by your setbacks. It's all about how many times you get back up. See the 5 birds flying in the sky? 5s in tarot and numerology depict change. They can also depict strife. But often strife leads to change, or change causes strife. They're interchangeable. Interstrifable. So there you go. Your progress is not diminished by your setbacks. Actually, your setbacks make you stronger. You get back up stronger each time. So there you go. There's our little froggy self-care inspirational quote for the day. Okay, these popped out. Okay, Knight of Pens is the first one that popped out, and pens in this deck are swords. So this is the Knight of Swords. This is the knight that's coming in with communication, something to say, something's happening, he's acting swiftly, he can even be hasty. Swords are communication, related to air signs. The air signs are Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. And this relates to Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan. So we'll look that up and find out why that was banned. Okay, and the second one is one of my favorites and my son's favorites too, To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee. Knight of Paper. Paper in this deck is pentacles, because it's earthy, and pentacles are earthy. Relates to earth signs. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Okay? So we have that. Which also, To Kill a Mockingbird is also in the major arcana. I believe it's the Justice card appropriately. Okay. We're just gonna get to know this deck. I resonate with it. Like I said, the only thing I would change is I would have it maybe be cardboard and traditional standard size shuffling dimensions, but that's okay. All decks are different sizes. I have small ones, I have large ones, I have round ones. Oh, okay. Let's get a couple more cards, and then we'll just look them up and have the fun of seeing what's going on with these books and why they were banned by all the crybabies of the world and all the fascists who don't want the truth to come out because it empowers people. Suppose we're lucky they ever let us learn how to read. Okay. How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram J. Kendi. Page of Paper. So that's Page of Pentacles. This is an incoming message of something earthy, something prosperous, something to do with finances or anything monetary or tangible. Okay, and the book is How to Be Anti-Racist. Interesting, I've never heard of that book. And then the Judgment card popped out. which is also, you know, if you've been watching my videos and others, you see all these ending cards, the 9s and the 10s, because we're ending cycles. We're ending the year. We're globally ending cycles. We're ending karmic cycles in our lives. So here's a double 10. They've been coming out all over the place if you've been watching. And it's Judgment card, which is a favorable card, especially if you're a favorable person. And if you're watching this, then you are the divine collective and the divine protected. And then on the bottom, ooh, I read this book when I was in 7th grade. Great book, The Outsiders. And I also read its sequel. That was Then, This Is Now. Excellent books, especially for teenagers to read. S.E. Hinton, who, by the way, is a female who wrote these books. She went by her initials because she didn't think anybody would take her seriously if they knew she was a woman writing these books, which is predominantly a man's arena, you know, gangs and, you know, if you know what the storyline is about. It's a very, very excellent part 1 and part 2 of the story. 5 of Pens. So, 5 of Pentacles, this is the card of being left out in the cold, the card of desolation and loss and just total poverty, and yeah. That was on the bottom, so we're going to put that like that. Okay, eventually I can't wait to get all of these to pop out, but, you know, it's going to take time. So I'm going to look at the booklet now. We're going to just showcase how these cards work and what they mean, and if you're interested in books, you'll probably be interested in this. It's going to be a reading. I'm going to end up reading these and putting some love cards down because all the readings are turning toward love lately. And so this is on the bottom, which indicates that this is over. That's on the bottom. It's over. The loss, the being out in the cold, the, you know, pardon me, the poverty. Alrighty. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Knight of Pens. Pens are swords in this deck, so that's Knight of Swords. And I opened right to it. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Rick Riordan, series 2005 to 2009. The card is passionate and self-assured. The Knight of Pens rushes into the fray. But when you see this card, imagine Annabeth cautioning Percy. You need to think before you act. Ask yourself, is it worth fighting for? Rick Riordan's action-packed Percy Jackson series is a fun and engaging series that puts kids with neurodivergence and disabilities in the lead, but it has been challenged for including references to sex and drugs as well as violent scenes. See, this is what I was saying. Sometimes the Knight of Swords, which is the Knight of Pens in this case. The pen is mightier from the sword. That's the reference to let you know which one is which. That's how I keep it straight in my head anyway when they change them around to different things and different themes. But like I said, it can be he can be impetuous and you know, act before he thinks, and that's what this is saying. Beware of that. Okay. Second one is To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee, Knight of Paper, so that's Knight of Pentacles. And Knight of Pentacles is the knight that is going nowhere. See, Knight of 2 nights in a row, interesting. Knights are action of whatever the energy is. Pages are the beginning, the notion, the beginning thoughts, and then this is put to action, the knights, which come after pages. So you've got 2 nights in a row. You've got the Knight of Swords, which is in action, even impetuous action at times. And then you've got the Knight of Pentacles, which is no action. This is the knight that is standing still and not moving at the time. Or at least it's very slow progress. Anyway, so that's interesting because these 2 knights together and their meanings are opposite. So that's interesting to note. How to be an anti-racist. Page of paper. So that is the page of Pentacles. And pages are beginning notions, thoughts, ideas, groundwork, things in its infancy. And then Judgment, the double 10 card, which is an ending card also. And it's only outdone by its next and last major arcana card, the World card, which is the 21, 2 10s and a 1. So Judgment. Yep. Raising up for your judgment, being acknowledged, everybody getting what they have coming to them. Boy, oh boy. Judgment to me just reminds me of justice, and it's like, yes, let's have some of that. And the book is Fahrenheit 451, Ray Bradbury, one of my favorite science fiction writers. I have The October Country, a compilation of his spooky stories, and it's one of my favorite books. Okay, so what am I doing? I don't need that. I need this. We need judgment. 20. Judgment. Okay. So Fahrenheit 451, Ray Bradbury, 1953. The judgment card symbolizes a time of revelation and clarity. Just as Gaia awakens to the impact of intellectual freedom, you are being called to widen your awareness and objectivity. The bigger picture is coming into focus. Ray Bradbury's science fiction classic about the dire consequences of censoring books has ironically been targeted by censors for its use of adult language and themes. Interesting. Fahrenheit 451. As much as I love Ray Bradbury, I've seen that book and I've almost chosen it to read before, and I never have because I always had. I'm more into the spooky stories like the October Country. That's what I like. So okay. Well, this is very, very interesting, and let's get a couple more cards because we're going to read these too when I'm done exploring the whole literary aspect of this, which is awesome to me because this is a double love. Tarot is my love, and books are my love. They're both my loves, and they both go together, and cards and books and music are my collections, my main collections. I have others. I have candy dish collections, which I also love, but that's a different genre. Books and cards. Music. It's all art. And that's me. Right brain. Head boss lady. Right brain artist. Writer, painter, pilot. And prognosticator. Or say procrastinator, which is a Freudian slip because I am a procrastinator. At least I used to be. Not anymore, but I used to be. Prognosticator, divinator, tarot reader, intuitive. I hate the word psychic. It's so hack and phony, but intuitive, sensitive, empathic, altruistic, kitschy witchy. Welcome, that's me. Can you give us something else here, geez? Careful, it's going to end up on the floor again. I'm so tired of bending over and picking them up off the darn floor. Last time I asked for a whole bunch of them, or I asked for it to give me something, spit it out, it gave me a whole bunch of them spread all over the floor, so be careful what I ask for. Can you just kind of show me something? All right, that'll work. Coraline. This is interesting because I've seen this listed on the streaming channels that I have. Coraline. Nine of Papers. That's Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is you standing in all your abundance and blessings and glory, and it's a 9 card again. It's an ending, and it's the best ending possible. You made it. You're standing in all your pentacles, all your rewards, fruits of your labor. Love it. More 9s, more ending cards. Oh, and got to take the one on the bottom because it's a major. And it's another ending card. It's the ending card in the major tarot, the World card, 21. And the book is Looking for Alaska. Okay, I've heard of that book, but I don't know anything about it, so I'm interested to pull that one up. And we're going to take this one. We're going to take those two. That one we can leave on the bottom. 2 of paper is just 2 of pentacles. It just means balance. Pains are balanced. And the book is The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. We will look that up after the others. And then we're going to read this, and then I'm going to see if I can lay down any cards that clarify if necessary. Okay, so we got, where did we end off? I keep doing this. We left off with this, How to Be an Anti-Racist, Page of Pentacles. Page of Pens. Page of Pens. Page of Pens. Oh, it's Page of Swords. Sorry, Page of Pens. Swords. Pen is mightier than the sword. Page of Pens. No, that's not. Yeah, what are we doing here? Yeah, it is. Catcher in the Rye, I'm sorry. Page of Pens, The Catcher in the Rye. This was my dad's favorite book. I have his copy of it on my shelf, and I have my copy of it on my bookshelf. Catcher in the Rye. That's not what we were looking for. We were looking for Antichrist. So what am I doing? Page of Paper. It's Page of Pentacles. Say the pens and the pentacles is confusing. Pens are swords. Page of Pentacles. Page of Paper. How to be an Antichrist. There. Sorry about the digression. Okay. A diligent, lifelong student. The Page of Paper is dedicated to achieving their goals. As Ibram X. Kendi does, this card asks you to keep learning and working toward creating a better future, even when it feels like the odds are against you. A captivating guide to understanding and eradicating the deeply rooted racism that plagues our society. This New York Times bestseller has been banned for purportedly being divisive. In other words, it's dividing people and not bringing them together. Okay, so that's why that was banned, and now we have Fahrenheit 451. Yes, the world, or the judgment card. Judgment. I didn't do judgment yet, do I? I get confused. I've been doing other readings and I get confused sometimes. Okay, Judgment. Fahrenheit 451. Ray Bradbury, 1953. The Judgment card symbolizes a time of revelation and clarity. Just as Gaia awakens to the impact of intellectual freedom, you are being called to widen your awareness and objectivity. The bigger picture is coming into focus. I did read this. Ray Bradbury's science fiction classic about the dire consequences of censoring books has ironically been targeted by censors for its use of adult language and themes. I did read that. Well, underscore it because it had me read it again, so it wants us to underscore that. Or it was in another reading. I apologize. I do apologize. Coraline. I think that's where we left off, was Coraline, wasn't it? I don't know. We'll get through it. Pardon me for my mistakes. Coraline. The Nine of Pentacles. That's right. She's the one standing in all her glory. Nine of Paper. Nine of Paper. Coraline. Neil Gaiman. Gaiman. A goes for the eyes of Gaiman. 2002. With the triumphant energy, the Nine of Paper represents a happy ending after a period of growth. Like Coraline and her family, you are finally able to sit back and enjoy the blossoms of the seed you planted. Challenged towards darker themes, Coraline offers delightfully imaginative lessons in appreciating what you have and using your wits and courage to stand up for yourself and others. That's why she was banned. Yeah, people, crybabies, looking for Alaska, the world. Okay. World is an ending card, as I mentioned. It's the culmination of everything in the major arcana. Okay, the World. Looking for Alaska, John Green, 2005. The World symbolizes the culmination of a journey that brings a sense of completion and fulfillment. Your newly evolved consciousness doesn't come in spite of your trials, but because of them. Embrace your own great perhaps and its limitless possibilities. The great perhaps are in quotes. Embrace your own great perhaps possibilities and its limitless possibilities. An acclaimed coming-of-age novel beloved by young readers looking for Alaska has encountered opposition for its frank discussion of death and teen sexuality. Okay, gotcha. The censors got that. Now Catcher in the Rye. One of my favorites. Here we go. Page of Pens. Which is swords. Page of swords. Page. Okay. Page of Pens, Catcher in the Rye. J.D. Salinger, 1951. The Page of Pens represents intellectual curiosity. It calls you to let your mind wander without judgment or expectation. To be as free and playful in your thoughts as children playing in a field of rye. Detach and you will find clarity. Despite being a classroom classic and a valuable rite of passage for adolescents, The Catcher in the Rye has often been challenged for its themes of angst and rebellion, as well as explicit language. Ooh, we couldn't have that. We couldn't have the sheep will get out of the line, huh? Okay, well, glad I have two of them. Censor that. And then we have 8 of Pens. This is in tarot the 8 of Swords, which is stuck, unable to move, a period or a time where you just feel stuck. It's not that you can't move physically. You easily physically could break those shackles, but for some reason you're unable to. Okay? And the Scarlet Letter. Ooh, that's a good book. The Scarlet Letter. 8 of Swords. Represents the Scarlet Letter. Okay, here we are. The Scarlet Letter. Nathaniel Hawthorne, 1850. The 8 of Pens represents being a prisoner of your own mind. You may feel guilted into submission or hopelessly trapped, but don't give up. Like Hester, you have the skills and willpower to find your way out. Banned for being morally scandalous roughly 225 years after the Puritan era ended, The Scarlet Letter is an enduring indictment of societal judgment and conformism. It's interesting because my ancestor came from the nobility of London in 1639, brought the first grandfather clock to America that resides in a museum in Long Island, I believe, or Rhode Island, one of the two. We used to own New Jersey and Rhode Island, my family did. It's all in our genealogy. And he was a Baptist. He was Obadiah Holmes. He was a Baptist minister, came from the nobility of London, and he was publicly whipped by the Puritans, those psychopaths. Just as an FYI, that was interesting. It brought that to mind. So there you go. Now let's read this tarot. Tarot-ly. In reference to just strictly tarot and not the literary aspect. We went through that. That's just interesting. I love it. So, okay. Your past was the 5 of Swords. That's just... Oh, it's the 5 of Swords. I said Pentacles. I gotta stop that. It's a new deck. Pens are swords, not pentacles. Pens are mightier than the sword. Okay, so this is the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords is when you just walk away from something. It's a battle, and you or somebody else has walked away. See these people? They're walking away. And I should have recognized the depiction because it's very, very similar to the traditional card. So they've walked away, you've walked away. Swords depict strife when they're next to a 5, because 5s are change and strife, and swords are communication, but also strife too. Swords can be very stormy. So, but that's the bottom card. This is the past. And your progress is not diminished by your setbacks. Anyway, remember? Okay, so then we have... Excuse me, I just gotta get my glasses updated. So we have the Knight of Swords. That is swift action coming in, communication, swift communication coming in. It could be impetuousness. It could be acting before thinking. Knight of Paper, that's the Knight of Pentacles, and that is the card of no action at all. So this is the opposite. This is impetuous, maybe acting before thinking, and this is taking your time and thinking it out. So take that as it resonates. It's kind of a little warning. Don't be impetuous. Take your time. And then we have the Page of Paper, which is the Page of Pentacles, which is the brainchild. Something new is forming. Some new concept, thought that you're going to manifest into some kind of reality. And then you have the Judgment card, which is a very auspicious card for starting anything new. It is going to be in your favor. Okay. Then you have the Nine of Paper, which is the Nine of Pentacles. And that is the lady standing with all her pentacles, with a beautiful peacock and all her abundance. And that just is... 9s are ending cards, and it's the ending of a cycle, and you've come out abundant and blessed. Looking for Alaska, the World, the ending card, the ultimate ending card in tarot. The World, The world is your oyster. You have the world in your hands. It's the ending of a cycle. Successful ending of a karmic cycle is what that is for you. The Page of Pens, that's the Page of Swords. Okay, the Page of Swords is just, it could be a warning. It could be telling you to watch your step. The Page of Swords comes in with some kind of communication, so pay attention to the signs and the communication and what the universe is trying to throw in front of your face. Watch your step. Be aware. Or watch for a communication incoming. And then, when we went through this, the Eight of Swords. Seemingly unable to move. For some reason, you're stuck. It's not a physical bondage. You easily could break those shackles. Something's holding you back. But according to all the other cards, you've overcome that. And this is the bottom, the card that I put over here on the bottom now. As a Two of Paper, which is the Two of Pentacles, which is the card of balance. So it just looks like, yeah, pay attention to your actions. Look before you leap. You know, new brainchild is coming in that's going to be very fruitful. These ending cards, it's just the ending of the cycle. It's in your favor. You successfully completed a cycle. This is the card of successfully completing a cycle. The Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Paper. You have the world. You completed the cycle, and you have the world in your hands. Just maybe a little warning to watch your step and be aware of what's going on around you. And you're not stuck anymore. You're able to move now, but watch where you're moving to is the message I'm getting. So the cards have been leaning towards love messages of late. And I kind of thought this might be where it was going. And it's just kind of random. So we're going to take out the Kipperish deck. The Kipperish will let us know in what direction this stuff is. We're not going to lay out a bunch of Kipperish. I'm going to make this fairly short, but we're going to just define what this is relating to, because it's not really that apparent. I mean, there's a two knights, which are incoming action. It's don't be impetuous, look before you leap. And then you got the Page, which is just a message, judgment in your favor, happy endings, maybe a warning to watch your surroundings, watch where you're going, you're not stuck anymore. But relating to what? Kipperish. My beloved Kipperish. Always on point. Always ready to spit out what I need. What we need to hear to clarify. Clarify this reading for us real quick. I wanted to trot these cards out and see what they had to say, but now we need to know what this reading is about. Okay. Poverty, high honor. So, before you were in poverty, because that's what that card denotes over there. Kind of poverty, kind of strife. And now there's a high honor. Take that as it resonates. Poverty and high honor. So it just looks to me like that you've turned something around in your life. We're still trying to figure out, is this about love? Is this about career? Okay, right when I said that, rising star with the 77, which is 77. If there's a double-digit number, that's my number. It's 77. 1977 was the summer of my life. So rising star. So this is saying that whatever you were lacking before, you just have high honors now. Maybe that just means you raise your vibration and you're a rising star. And literally, not in the sense of career-wise, but you're raising your vibration and rising to the stars. From whence we came, we're all stardust. Okay, so is this a spiritual kind of awakening, closing out cycles thing? Or are you moving towards the love readings like you were? Tell me what this is about. Is this just a general warning? Okay, that's not nice to do that. we're gonna, oh my God. We're not taking all these cards. We're gonna do this. The Divine Feminine, Distant Future. Okay? It's a 2 and a 36. The numbers of the cards, that's a 38, which equals 11, which is the master number, a divine number. Divine Feminine in your distant future. Now we're getting somewhere. We've got a Divine Femme, which is a soulmate counterpart, in your distant future. Distant future, near future? The rest of those are wrong back. Too many for just answering my question. There you go. Okay, yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, what about your Divine Femme in the distant future? Jezebel? That's not a Divine Femme, that's a karmic. So in your near future, there's a Divine Femme, which really should be over here because this is near future. This is past. So you got a Jezebel in your past that you trusted? Interesting. Kind of getting somewhere here. Let's get you out of there. We're done with you. Bottom of the deck is nice guy. You're a nice guy. Male or female, you're a nice guy. This is kind of, to me, sounding like some nice guy got hooked up with some Jezebel that he trusted, and that didn't go over well. And the next card underneath there is change, which is a 5. Fives are always change. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a 9. I thought change was 5. Must be in another deck. A 9. So, oh, I'm sorry. That was a brain, wires crossing in my brain. 9 is an ending card. That's what was relevant about that number. Change. 9 is an ending card, which means there's something coming that's changing and ending. Okay. Well, that clarifies that. So, you're a nice guy. You had a Jezebel that you trusted. And that came to an end. Somebody who was manipulative. I just love it when they have to give us the backstory, but all we're trying to find out is what the front story is. What is the next chapter of this tragic love story from the past? Now there's been a change. Somebody was manipulating you, but now, present tense, can you give me a little bit? I want to wrap this up. I have things to do. It's getting late. Transition. Okay. Yep. Change. Transition. You're in a transition from all that. That's all changing. That's all changing. All right. A couple more. Let's wrap this up for my divine collective lovelies. Entity attachment. You're having something that's holding you back. The more you try to raise your vibration, the more you transition up, the more you're going to get these manipulators and these agents like this person coming into your life to try to drag you back down like crabs in the bucket that they are. And you're just a nice guy and a trusting person. Okay, so that's all changing. All this manipulations, it's all transitioning, and whatever entity attachment that was, you're transitioning from that. But believe me, the higher you raise your vibration, the more lower entities are going to want to drag you back down. They're crabs in a bucket. Community, okay? Community. Take it as it resonates. What's the future for the Divine Collective in this whole situation? The future for you, it popped out as soon as I asked, which I love that, is karma. See that path that you're going down, that pathway that leads to that beautiful, sparkling star of a sun? That's karma. That's your future. I asked, what is your future in all this? And that's what popped out, karma. Karma is always in the favor. Oh. And the one at the bottom that kept trying to come out in my hand is twin flame. That's a twin flame experience that leads to your spiritual awakening. So that was on the bottom. That's who this person could have been, was a twin flame karmic. You know? But your ending card is good. Anything else to say before I wrap this up? This was just kind of all over the place. It wasn't just real specific, but I really did what I needed to do was trot out that deck and let you guys take a look at that. Priestess, okay? Priestess, trust your intuition is what that's telling you. We are all intuitive. All you have to do is develop that skill like anything else that people are good at. Why are they better at it than you? They developed it, more than likely. Some people have natural abilities, but more than you have, even those you have to develop. Okay, priestess and priest. That is saying, male or female, trust your intuition. It never lets you down and will never misguide you when you know how to listen to your intuition. Child, okay? Reconnect with your inner child. Reconnect with your inner child and drop your concerns. All is going to be well. All is well. And on the bottom, you have bliss. This is your ending card, another 9, 4, and 5, bliss. Happiness and bliss and love is coming to you if you are open to it, and that is what you want. Thank you, Divine Lovelies, for joining me for this haphazard reading today with my new deck of cards. And I hope you have a lovely Wednesday evening. We're going to decorate the tree with my son and granddaughter tonight. So, ciao for now.